Lindsay Halligan, because she doesn't care about the facts or the law. She was doing Donald Trump's, revenge-fueled bidding, and that's why it will fail.
We've crossed yet another Rubicon, haven't we, Glenn? I mean, here we are. James Comey has been indicted, based on, even though every attorney, including the last attorney that just resigned, all of the attorneys in that office have said there's no there. So here we are. Your thoughts?
Yeah, we can officially call the date and time of death of the legitimacy of the Department of Justice under Trump and Bondi. It is September 25th, 2025, when a Trump flunky apparently walked into the grand jury and had them vindictively indict Jim Comey. I believe this will be a Kimmel-esque miscalculation by the Trump administration, just as, they did awaken a sleeping giant when it came to Jimmy Kimmel. What did they do? They succeeded in galvanizing support for Kimmel. They took him off air for a week. He's now back on. He's bigger and better and funnier than ever. So what does it do? It proves that Trump is weak, not strong. It proves he's ineffective and feckless. And this indictment will prove to be the same thing in the long run.
So can you talk to us lay people about this? Lindsay Halligan has never prosecuted a case, period, federally or state. She's an insurance lawyer. Not one other person in the office would sign this. She personally brought it to the grand jury. How was she able to even get an indictment? I mean, I know that, you only hear the prosecution side. You don't hear a defense at all. But I mean, a strings, right, starting from Bill Barr to Todd Blanche, nobody would prosecute this.
Here's what everybody should know, Steph. A grand jury indictment is only as good as the ethics of the prosecutor presenting the evidence and making the arguments to the grand jury. An unethical, dirty prosecutor, which is what Lindsay Halligan, Trump's flunky, has already shown herself to be, in my opinion, can walk into the grand jury and convince them to indict something for which the evidence doesn't support an indictment if the prosecutor misrepresents the evidence, or can get a grand jury to refuse to indict something that should be indicted. Think of the Breonna Taylor case, when they played games in the grand jury and the grand jurors didn't indict, but then the grand jurors went to the judge and said, we don't think they played straight with us, right? So a dirty prosecutor can get a grand jury to do almost anything. And that's going to be exposed, I believe, very soon, because U.S. attorneys never sign indictments. They never go into the grand jury.
That's what I said, Glenn, is I think she's going to be disbarred. And I think no one else wanted to be associated with this. And I would not be surprised if she misrepresented stuff in this, because talk to us a little, again, us lay people, about what this is. So the charge is basically lying to Congress, but I don't even understand it, because as far as I know, what he or Andy McCabe did was not illegal in the first place. So he's saying that Andy McCabe is saying that he directed. Can you just explain it? I'm sorry, my head hurts. It's Friday. I'm almost on vacation and my head hurts. Go ahead.
And it'll take me longer than we have. But basically, there are two criminal charges. One is what's called a false statement to Congress, and the other is obstructing Congress by making a false statement to Congress. So it's kind of double dipping, even to start.
Yeah.
But when you look at his testimony back in 2016, and you look at his testimony when Ted Cruz is like horribly, imprecisely questioning him in 2020, there is no viable false statements charge. Think of it as perjury, right? You go in, you swear to tell the truth to Congress, and you lie. This crime, false statements, is kind of a kissing cousin to the crime of perjury. But when you analyze the evidence, what he said in 2016 and what he said in 2020, there's no viable perjury charge, and it would take me a long time to explain why. Okay. It has to do with the elements of the crime of perjury. But here's the thing, Steph. Every other prosecutor recognized that, except Lindsay Halligan, because she doesn't care about the facts or the law. She was doing Donald Trump's, revenge-fueled bidding, and that's why it will fail.
Doesn't he have a case to get this thrown out on malicious prosecution based on? I mean, like I keep saying, Trump is like Nixon publishing the Watergate tapes. I mean, he ordered the DOJ to do this. He's celebrating it. Like, isn't that right away? You saying? I mean, I know that he could have a jury trial within 30 days. He's entitled to that if he wants, right? But I mean,
he can,
wouldn't you be able to say you've already tainted the jury pool?
So, yes, this is a vindictive prosecution claim, and that's a defense to a criminal charge that you're being either vindictively or selectively prosecuted. And James Comey is. This will be the most robust, compelling vindictive prosecution defense ever brought in our courts. That's not hyperbole. And I suspect it will be thrown out. It will be dismissed with prejudice, meaning it can never be re-indicted or re-brought against him. But if it's not thrown out before the jury trial, I don't think the jury will have time for a cup of coffee when they return to deliberate. They will instantly find him not guilty, just like the New York jury instantly found Donald Trump guilty of 34 felony crimes.
Yeah, all Trump wants is the spectacle. Let's just go to, because I know there's so much to talk about. You mentioned Kimmel and consequences for all of this stuff that people think there's never going to be a tomorrow. You know, a group of Disney shareholders is exercising its right to demand materials related to the company's decision last week to suspend Jimmy Kimmel's show, a precursor to a potential lawsuit. They said there is credible basis to suspect the board breached its fiduciary duty to investors by prioritizing improper political and affiliate considerations. The fallout from suspending Jimmy Kimmel sparked criticism as an attack on free speech, triggered boycotts. Union support for Mr. Kimmel caused Disney stock to plummet amid fears of brand damage, concerns that Disney was complicit in succumbing to the government overreach and media censorship. So there's more shoes to drop there, aren't there? I mean, Trump has threatened to sue ABC. Again.
Of course. And it will go just as well as his suit against the New York Times when it was thrown out summarily, the complaint, because the judge just mocked Donald Trump and his lawyers for, basically filing an extended social media post as their complaint in the case. So, yeah, there are civil consequences to come. I hope the Disney shareholder suit gets some traction if it is brought. It hasn't been brought yet. And there will be, I believe, Steph, there will be criminal consequences to come, just as there were during the Nuremberg trials. And I don't often make that analogy, but you, having a father who was a Nuremberg prosecutor, know as well as anybody, people are feeling themselves in the moment, right?
Yeah. Just
like the Nazis were feeling themselves in the moment. But guess what? Consequences come.
Yeah,
it may take too long, but consequences come.
Guess what didn't work? I was just following orders. If you're a homeowner in America, you need to listen to this. The FBI has been warning about a type of real estate fraud on the rise called title theft. Yikes. And your equity is the target. Here's how it works. Criminals can forge your signature on a single document, use a fake notary stamp, file it with the county, and just like that, on record, they own your home. Using your ownership, they can take out loans against your equity or even sell your property, and you won't even know about it until a foreclosure or a collection notice shows up in your mail. Yeah, that's why I have partnered with Home Title Lock, so you can protect your equity and find out today if you're already a victim. Go now to HometitleLock.com/Stephanie. You'll get a free title history report and a free trial of their $1 million triple lock protection. That's 24/7 monitoring of all of your title records, urgent alerts to any changes, and if fraud occurs, their U.S.-based restoration team will spend up to $1 million to fix it. Don't be a victim. Protect your equity today. Go to HometitleLock.com/Stephanie. One more time, that's HometitleLock.com/Stephanie.